This tutorial is perfect for beginners wanting to improve their watercolor landscapes, reflections, atmosphere, and soft blending techniques. So grab your brushes, paint some paper, and let's paint the Arctic together. Then some clear water using a quill number 8 over the sky area, coming down to the top of the various icebergs, etc. Then we have the first wash coming in, fairly weak because it's marrying together with the clear water. Still using the quill. Then I've got a flat brush. You will see that I'm adding a little bit of light red to the mixture so that I can get some dark clouds. The flat brush is very useful for doing clouds where I can shape them quite nicely. And because it doesn't hold so much pigment and water, I can keep more control. I can get thin lines of clouds out of this. As you appreciate, as they go into the distance, they get fainter and thinner. Clean up the edges with tissue to avoid creepback and then dry off with a hairdryer, and it dries much lighter. Then we have clear water over the whole of the ocean area, and you can go over the sails of the boat because they will be a stronger color, as you'll see later. Then to neaten up where the water abuts the various icebergs and landmass, etc., you can use a smaller brush to get accuracy so you don't go over lines. Then your mop brush again, right into that clear water, all across the ocean. I have left the whole of the boat white. That will be a dark color later. Mopping up the edges again as I go along to avoid creepback. But then continuing with a smaller brush, maybe a number 4, something like that, or some of the darker elements in the ocean. And especially so at the bottom of the painting. It's always darker in the foreground and gets lighter and lighter as it goes into the distance. You will see once again that this dries tremendously lighter. Looks quite dark right now, but it will have nice variation going on. As you can see, dried off very light. Now in the distance there are some, there's some dark to the landscape, and so I'm painting those in now using a very small brush, number 1. These will enable a nice contrast between light and dark. And we've got some weak winds of blue just for some shadow areas on the ice. There and there, nothing too defined, rather than just the pure white of the paper, a little bit of a blue shadow going on. And you'll soon see some darker areas being painted in on the sides of the landmass that abut the ocean. There we go with that. You can use perhaps a number 4 brush some of that medium dark mixture. Not as dark as the landmass in the distance, lighter than that. Just where the land masses and icebergs, etc., abut the water. This will also enable us to drop in a few reflections, but they are there in reality. Quite a long way through this tutorial. It's a quick, easy one. The most complex part of it, of course, is the boat, but sailing boat, but hopefully you have access to a sketch to help you in that regard. Now I'm just strengthening up some of those shadows at the top of the ice areas. Just making it more interesting, a little bit of variation going on, rather than just pure white of the paper. But of course, as always, this is the English style of transparent watercolors, where we use the white of the paper for our whites, rather than an opaque color, such as acrylic, gouache, Chinese white, etc. So it looks much more natural, doesn't jump out at you on the page, doesn't stand out too much. So it's coming on quite well. Well, soon be 60% through. So just strengthen up here and there where the ice meets the water to emphasize those shadow areas. And now we're going to drop in some reflections from those areas. The medium dark mixture, once again, remember it dries lighter. You can add some water to it as you go along. I'm using a number 4 size brush for this to maintain accuracy. And you can blend the edges with some clear water so that they fuse in quite nicely rather than leaving a harsh edge. So having completed those, we can now change our attention to the sailing boat using the smallest brush, number 1 here, for accuracy. It does hold the pigment quite well despite its small size, and paying attention to leave a little bit of a gap there where the mast will be. Thankfully, from the reference photo, this sailing boat did have nice red sails anyway, so it does provide a nice contrast. Then for the hull, you've got the dark color, and as it goes from stern to bow, it gradually lightens at the bow area in particular. And on the stern, we have a red area, which is painted in now, and then some figures on the boat and various cabins and so forth that are indicated in white. Using the negative painting technique, where we paint around to leave the white of the paper. Now we can pay attention to reflections in the water from the sailing boat. Use a small flat brush. You could get by with a round, but you'll get more accuracy for fine lines with a very small flat brush. Making sure that the shape is as interesting as possible with little indications of ripples on the water, but not too much. It's hardly moving along the sailing boat. It's a very sedate pace. So it's not creating lots of waves and wake, etc. And the mast is being indicated as well now. Always have tissue to hand so that you can dab, and do have a spare piece of paper to hand so you can test your colors. And here we are, finished painting. I hope you've enjoyed that and do have a go at it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.